Following the last episode, I got a lot of questions about my own process for creating characters. I also got a few new clients, which is lovely, so thank you for that. You all know who you are. Let's dive right in. Hello, I'm Stuart Wakefield, an Author Accelerator certified book coach and writer. With 26 years in theatre, broadcast media and coaching under my belt, I know what makes stories work, and I love to share that with other writers because the world of storytelling, it's like the ocean. It's deep, it's mysterious, and it's a little bit scary to those who don't know how to navigate it. And with so much left to luck and timing, it's my mission to give great books the best chance of getting into readers' hands. In each episode, I'll share tips and plans of action that will help you write, edit, and publish your book. And if you're new to writing or consciously working to improve your craft, then this is the podcast for you. We all know how important it is to create believable characters in the stories we tell. It's a given. But creating characters isn't always easy. To make sure that your characters are as three-dimensional and interesting as possible, you need to have answers to a lot of questions about them. At least 70 by my reckoning, if not more. Now, 70 sounds like a lot, and you might be feeling overwhelmed right now, but take a deep breath and don't worry. This doesn't have to be a stressful process. We're aiming to make this activity fun, lighthearted, and inspirational. After all, the more questions you have answered before you start writing, the better your characters will be. The questions I'll be covering in this episode were ones I used as an actor for creating characters for the stage, and they're designed to explore your main characters in more depth, helping you to create characters with their own unique personality traits and backstories. Once you've got all your answers, you'll be in a much better position to start writing about them and giving them life. Now, when answering these questions, don't be afraid to be creative. After all, you're a writer, and you don't need to answer them in a specific order. This process is all about developing your own unique universe and the only unique people that live in it, so don't be afraid to think outside the box. Okay, let's take a look at the questions about your main characters that you need to answer. Vital statistics. What is their gender and age? What is their weight, height, build, colour of hair, eyes and skin? Are they right or left-handed? Do they have any facial expressions, a squint or any disabilities like a limp or a missing finger? Do they wear spectacles or contact lenses? How do they walk or move? Do they have any mannerisms or habits? Do they smoke? And what's their attitudes towards each of these? Personality. How do they speak? What do they sound like? What pitch and speed is their voice? Do they have any favourite sayings or words? Do they use slang or swear? What's their sexuality and their attitude towards it? How important is it? Do they have any hang-ups? What are their attitudes towards someone else's sexuality? Are they a cool or a sexy person? Are their relationships fiery and passionate, or calm and carefully controlled? Do they have a nasty temper? Are they charming? Do they control their emotional life, or does it control them? How do they express tension, or do they internalize stress? How do they express pleasure? What do they most like and dislike about themselves? What aspects of themselves do they praise, deny, or want to change? Do they run their own life, or are they usually obeying other people, or doing things to please or take care of others? What's their favorite color? What's their star sign and birthstone? Do they even believe in astrology? Are they religious or spiritual? If so, what are their beliefs and practices? What are their moral beliefs and code of ethics? Do they have a phobia or phobias? What do they want from life? What are their goals in the short term, medium and long term? What do they really want from life? When they die, how do they want to be buried? 6 feet under, cremated at sea? Do they want their ashes scattered anywhere specific? Do they want any particular music played at their funeral? Have they even thought about death? Does it bother them? Living arrangements. What is their nationality? Do they even live in their country of origin? If not, why not? And how do they feel about this? So where do they live? Do they own their own home? How much does it cost? How is it furnished? Are they domesticated, tidy or messy? Do they live alone or with other people? Relationship with self. When they're at home for an evening alone, are they happy with their own company? Do they read books, magazines, newspapers, the back of cornflake packets? What music do they play to themselves? What do they eat? Can they relax? Do they knit, sew, write letters, watch television, revise their notes from an evening class? What are their hobbies if they have them? Are they quirky? Are they a collector? What do their hobbies, music and books tell us about them? Relationships with others. Do they have a partner, or one or several lovers? Are they celibate, married? Do they have dependent relatives, flatmates or pets? Do they have children? What's their relationship to them? What kind of children are they? Do people like them? Do they do what they want? Do they admire or respect them? Lifestyle. Are they successful in material terms? Do they have a good job with enough money? Are they worried about their finances? Are they financially independent? Do they like their job? If not, what would they rather do? What are the power relationships in their work with co-workers, boss or employees? Are their parents living? Do they like them? Were their family rich, poor, struggling to keep up appearances? What have they inherited from them, both physically and psychologically? What kind of education did they have? Was it a military background? What were they expected to do with their life? And to them, what does success even look like? Now let's think about them in terms of their role in the story. So what's their relationship to the other main characters in the story? Who or what is trying to prevent them from achieving their goal or goals? Do you like them? Do you respect them? And how do you want the audience to feel about them? Within the story, what is their goal or dramatic need? What are they trying to achieve, gain, or change during the story? And at the end of the story, what is their development? How have they changed? What have they learned about things or other people, or themselves? Now take your character through a typical day in their life. What time do they wake up in the morning? Do they even wake up in the morning, or do they get up in the afternoon? How do they wake up? With vigour, or do they lie there waiting to muster the energy? Maybe they wake up with a cigarette. How do they smoke it? What will they do next? And so on. Finally, and this is one of my favourite exercises, is describe your character's day up until their first appearance in the story. Before I wrap up, I invite you to do all the usual stuff. You know the drill. Like, review, share and subscribe. But better than all of that, come and visit me at thebookcoach.co. You can sign up for my free self-editing guide and take a look at the services I provide. But there's tons, and I mean tons of free useful stuff on my blog too. Final thoughts. So remember, when creating your characters, be sure to use the answers to these questions to give them depth and make them believable and memorable. There's no right or wrong answer. And like I said, feel free to get creative. After all, you're a writer. So now that you've got all of the questions you need answered about your main characters, all that's left to do is create a story with a point and a purpose that has momentum and meaning. And if you need help with that, check out my story development service or check out my blog for tons more character creation posts. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm conscious there are a lot of podcasts out there, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to mine. But also, well done for investing some time in your own writing life. And yes, this podcast is about writing, but I'm here for you, not just your stories.